Hello and welcome. This is Leslie Cottle, and we're going to go over the sound and media cleanse, the 3 steps. You are going to find a worksheet, the sound cleanse worksheet, which is below. You can click that link, make a copy of it, and I will show you. We're going to go over all the steps and what to do, and then I'll show you what that looks like in the worksheet after. And before you start, I also want to make sure you have probably a good 45 minutes to do let's say a good hour to do this workshop. It will totally pay off in the end, and just make sure you have that much time. Otherwise, stop this and come back to this when you have that much time to go through this, because it will serve you best when you do it all together. So we have the sound and media cleanse. So step 1 is identify. So this is a 3-step process. It's identify, analyze, and then eliminate and curate. So you can have a sound environment that nourishes what those 3 to 5 goals are that you declared in the last training. So when we're identifying things, it is everything that you invite into your life on a daily and weekly basis. So what that looks like is books that you're reading, news that you watch, articles that you read, blogs that you read, social media, how much time you're spending on social media, music lists, your favorite artists, or like who, and like when you're picking these out, make sure it's like the things that like really are daily or weekly. If you're just listening to like one song a month, then it's whatever. Don't worry about it. Don't put it on here, because this is also a process that once you go through it once, you're going to be eliminating and curating your sound environment from now on. So with that, list your music list, your favorite artists right now, podcasts that you're listening to, meditations that you're listening to. If you're on YouTube, what kind of content or who your favorite creators are that you're listening to and watching on a weekly and daily basis. Radio, email subscriptions, magazine subscriptions, apps. Include the 5 people that you talk to the most. So whether that is your roommate, your best friend, your parent, your boss, whoever that is, make sure you include them on this list. If you're on dating apps or any kind of app where you're communicating with a lot of people, make sure you put that down. LinkedIn, texting, phone calls, just really everything. I know it's a little bit cumbersome to write it all down, but it will 100% serve you. It's part of the process. So make sure you do that. And also, I'm not sure if I put television on here, but obviously include Netflix, Amazon Prime, Gia, whatever it is that you're listening to or watching. Make sure you include that as well, whether it's your favorite show or what you're binging right now. Just put that on the list too. And so the next thing that we're going to do after this is then we're going to analyze our data. This is kind of a scientific process, right? We're just going to analyze it. After you've identified everything and know everything that you're inviting in, we're going to just take an extra look at it. So what does analyzing look like? Well, we want to know if this content inspires you, if it creates unwanted feelings, or if it's just because. And then we want definite answers on that, yes or no. So just because is totally fine. What we're really looking for here is we want to know if you are inviting things into your environment that are creating unwanted feelings or keeping you stuck, or maybe like are contributing to a story that you're telling yourself that you don't want to believe anymore. Ideally, content that we want to invite into our environment is something that motivates us, makes us happy, makes us laugh. There's different content for different things. So while I love educational information, by the end of the day, like I don't want to I don't want to learn anything at the end of the day. Like I just want to watch a TV show that makes me relax for a minute. Or I want to play a meditation that's going to make me chill out. So a just because, or something that like calms you down, or is that is part of your routine for relaxation, is totally fine. We just need to know which like what we're using this type of, or like what we're using our sounds for, what we're using our content for. So we're going to analyze that and how it makes us feel, and then like really just like be honest. How do you feel when you consume this sound? There are 4 basic emotions. So we have happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. And we need to identify what types of emotions are coming up when we're watching content or when we're listening to something. Because if something like news, for example, gives a lot of people anxiety, if you're watching the news 4 hours a day and it's making you anxious, maybe there's an opportunity to change that. Or for me, even though I like TV, it like totally makes me upset sometimes. So I have to be really careful about what TV I'm inviting in, how much TV I'm watching. I'm a very sensitive person, and I know that, and that's also why I know that this sound and media cleanse absolutely works. So, and then I also want you to identify if you have no emotion at all, if you're mindlessly consuming content. This happens a lot on social media. It happens a lot when someone gives us something and it's like something that they're interested in, or it's their opinion, and we're like, oh yeah, they did it, so I'm going to do it too. But realizing that you have no stake in it, no interest in it at all, that is really good to note too. And then I'll show you this on the worksheet in a moment, but we're going to find out, like, does this actually align with your 3 to 5 goals that you chose at the very beginning of this training? Because if it doesn't, we're going to give it a break for a moment. And then step 3 is to eliminate and curate. And this is the fun part. So after you've identified everything, analyzed your emotions, we're going to eliminate and curate. So for everything that has a no or that you don't care about, you are going to unfollow, unsubscribe, you are going to delete. You're going to get rid of it because it doesn't serve you. And it definitely doesn't serve your highest self. Anything that doesn't align with your sound cleanse goals, you're also going to delete, unfollow, and eliminate from your day or your week, because that also is not serving you. And then for everything that brings sadness, fear, or anger, you're going to give that a pause for 30 whole days. 30 days. Because you don't need that in your life. Why would you need something that brings you sadness, fear, or anger that you're letting into your world? Everything that we allow into our world is a contract, is something that we have agreed to. If you have agreed to bring sadness into your world, or agreed to bring fear or anger into your world when it is 100% not necessary, that's a huge opportunity to change. Think of all the other things that you could be doing that could inspire you, it could make you happy, that could totally shift everything. Literally just that, eliminating anything that brings sadness, fear, or anger from your life. That, just doing that would change everything. And then after you did that, I want you to take one more sweep of the list and see what else you can let go of. This is a process where we can let go of things. Because the thing is, you can always invite it back in. This is for you. It's what serves you, what serves your highest self, what serves you, knowing what your voice is versus someone else's. So really challenge yourself, stretch yourself to let go. What can you get rid of? Because when you let go of things, you get to let things in, new exciting things. So then you're going to go to this different tab, which I will show you in a minute, that says your name's curated sound list. So I would change this and I would say Leslie's curated sound list. So you're going to fill the sheet out and then spend as much time as you want on it. There's a few different sections that I'll show you that we'll go over. And then after you've done that exercise, you're going to pick 3 to 6 things that support your sound cleanse goals. So going back to those goals that you have, what are 3 to 6 themes from this list that will support your goals? So they're really going to be your guide to add to where you're actually going to add in content. Whether that's reading, books, podcasts, Netflix, we get to add it back in too. So it's okay to let go of things because that means new things can come in. And the ground rules for invitations into your life, especially when it comes to sound, is like literally, I mean, I know I'm giving you advice right now in the process, but this is a process that you go through that is going to serve you. One of the best things that anyone can do for themselves is to go on an advice detox for 30 days at least. You don't know how many answers are inside of you until you stop looking outside of you. You have everything that you need, like literally everything. And you also have a regulation system where if you make a mistake, which honestly is just part of life, you know how to correct it. You know how to move forward. So I literally everyone I would recommend, please, 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 please go on an advice detox. Stop listening to other people's opinions. Stop asking other people for advice. You have the answers. Seriously. And then I also want you to recognize that your time is an investment. Everybody has 24 hours in a day. No one has 25, no one has 23. We all have 24 hours a day. And you can look around and see famous people and see people who are super wealthy and people who are super happy, and everyone invests their time differently. So what are you going to invest your time in? How are you going to change your time and invest it in things that serve you, that serve your truth, your highest self? I always recommend to everyone to spend less time on social media. Ugh. Like it's just so much information, so many ads, so many things being fed to you. For me, I like to create more content than I consume. It's one of my rules. So I'm always creating more content than I'm consuming, and I'm also trying to consume information that is not through social media. Sometimes I think it's really helpful, sometimes it's not, and it's up to you to decide what's really going to serve you best. And remember, your data is your emotions. How does it make you feel? Does it empower you? Does it bring you down? Does it give you anxiety? Does it make you happy? It's up to you to decide and to analyze. And then I want you to monitor your screen time for the next 30 days. So if you're usually spending, 2 hours on Instagram, take it down to 1, or delete the app. If you're spending, 4 hours watching TV, take it down to 1. What happens if you don't watch TV that day? So there's that. Also eliminating notifications on your phone. Oh my gosh, that changed my life. It will change your life to not have your phone going off all the time. So delete apps that you can, eliminate all notifications possible, and focus on your goals. The reason why we create goals with everything that I do, you're going to find this a theme the more and more we work together. But it's when we define things is when it makes things possible. I wish I knew this so much sooner in my journey. I was always very like, oh, it's cool. Like whatever happens, happens. And I realized that when I started creating intentions by just declaring things, it happened. It's just it's so simple. But it's hard sometimes for people to decide or to make decisions because so many times we think we're going to make the wrong decision. But I promise you, it's not the wrong decision because you're always going to know how to change it in the future. Nothing in this life is permanent. So it's better to make a decision and to completely fail than to never make the decision at all. So make sure that you have these goals close to you somewhere that you can look at, that it can remind you why you're doing what you're doing. And that's what you need to focus on because everything else is just a distraction. What you focus on grows. So remember your goals, remember why you're doing this. And spend more time on yourself. Self-care, the things that make you feel good, spend more time telling people that you love them, spend more time engaging in activities that support your goals, spend more time learning and growing. We are humans. And so many times adults forget that they are learning and growing all the time too. There's this like funny little thing that when we grow up, we think that we're supposed to have all the answers, but the awakening always comes and you realize that you're learning and growing all the time. We're always expanding. And so it's okay because when you're learning and growing, things happen that you're like, oh gosh, whoops, learned my lesson. And that's okay. It's okay because it's just an experience. It's a learning experience. All life is a big experience after experience after experience. So spend more time exploring. Spend more time exploring your curated sound list, knowing what your themes are going to be, and invite sounds into your life that motivate you, that inspire you, that nourish your soul. You owe it to yourself. You deserve it. What you desire, you deserve. So focus on those goals, eliminate the distractions, and enjoy. Party time. Maybe have a dance too. So I'm going to show you now what this worksheet looks like super quick. So here we go. So when you click on the link below, it's going to take you to this worksheet. What you're going to do is you're going to make a copy, which is just file, make a copy, and then it belongs to you. So what you're going to do, you're going to do your sound list. You're going to list everything. Whoa, you're going to list everything here. You're going to identify approximately how much time per week you spend on it. You're going to say yes or no, this thing inspires me. Yes or no. Is there an unwanted feeling attached to it? Yes or no. Is it just because? And then also note, like, is it just because, like, and you like relaxing? Or is it just because and you literally have zero interest in it? I want you to identify what feeling you get when you consume the content. We could go with those 4 basic feelings, whether it's happiness, anger, fear, happiness, anger, fear, or there's another emotion in there that I'm forgetting. Happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. That's it. I mean, it could also be frustrated, happy, or laughter, whatever it is. But make sure that you know how you feel when you're consuming this. And if you're not sure, identify it later because the worst thing that you could do right now is backtrack yourself by adding something in or leaving something there that causes you a lot of grief or anxiety or frustration. And you're allowed to cut it out later or add something else in later. We're going to do this exercise now, but it will change, and that's okay. And then I want you to list yes or no. Is this aligned with your sound cleanse goals? If it's not, I invite you to step away from it for 30 days. Then you're going to come over here to the second column. You're going to change here. You're going to rename it to your awesome name. Your awesome name. And we have some topics here that you can start to think about for things that are going to inspire the crap out of you. So if there are topics that you know, whether it's like playing a sport, learning piano, Spanish, business, sound healing, meditation, like what are these things where you're always like, oh, I wish I had more time for X, or I really wish that I had done X. That is what this column is for. If there are authors or speakers that you want to learn more from, list them. If there are inspiration for your personal goals, so maybe you have a class that you're taking and you want to finish it. Maybe you want to learn how to meditate. Maybe you want to learn more about psychology, whatever it is, or like go to the gym more, eat better, learn more about what sugar does to the body, whatever it is. Put that here. Your professional goals could be, what do you aspire for work? If you want to be an entrepreneur, what's one thing that you can learn? If you love your job, what's a way that you could start building more skills there, or something that you're already learning that you want to learn more about? Or if you're really interested in a specific industry that you've never, like you have a passion for, but you actually have zero experience in, like add it. Why the heck not? Then I want you to think about hobbies that you've always wanted to try, list them here, and any other awesome things that matter to you. I want you to add them here. So fill this out. Then after you complete the worksheet, there's this little note here, or you can go back to the earlier in the training. But after you complete this and spend at least 20 minutes curating this list, it's actually super fun. I'm getting really energized. I think I'm going to do this when I end this video, because this is super fun. Then I want you to choose 3 to 6 themes and then curate new content based on that. To support your sound and media cleanse goals. So maybe your sound and media cleanse goal is to improve your self-talk, and there's like an author that does that. So you could add a book to your list. Maybe one of your goals is that you want to like add in music that is like really awesome. So you could find stuff for that. Maybe one of your goals is to add a new training in. Maybe one of your goals is to eliminate gossip. And it's like, all right, well, if I'm going to eliminate gossip, maybe I should know or like improve on my speaking skills, because you like when you eliminate gossip and complaining from your vocabulary, first off, it feels really good. You feel so much more empowered, but it's also a different way of speaking. Which sounds crazy, but you like really have to think about how to talk and how to form your language whenever you're eliminating language. Like I remember when I was babysitting my nephews a lot, I really had to change my language on because kids, you can't speak to them directly. If they're doing something that you don't want them to do, you actually can't directly address it. Most of the time, kids just like keep doing it. So if you're like, please stop slamming the door, they're going to just continue to slam the door. And what you have to do is you have to learn how to speak to kids. You have to learn how to say, hey, why don't you just come over here instead? And it's kind of like this new distraction. And your mind is a lot the same. It's like kind of the same way. Same thing with whatever. So you could just think about that. Think about different ways for language that you could talk, hobbies, everything. So this is like this super, super, super fun part, because you get to curate it based on what you want. So enjoy this. I really, really do hope that you enjoy this process. And I, yeah. So do this for the next 30 days. Enjoy it. And I would love to also hear about your experience. So please, please, please DM me on Instagram, send me a note in my email, whatever it is, get in touch with me if you like this or if there are any comments that you have. I'd love to hear about your experience. So enjoy, and I will catch you in the next training.